Okay, so today, this morning, I woke up and prepared for work, but I wanted to go to work with my 505 V6. So I tried cracking the engine. This is what I was getting. Okay, so it's an indication that is the starter motor. There's something called bendix there. That pinion that shoots out. So that one is what is making that noise. So that is working. So and I want to believe the armature is also good. So the only issue I could see that is maybe wrong if the starter is probably there's one of the brushes there has one, and maybe the solenoid too has a small problem. So I'm going to leave the car. I'm going to take another one. Take another one for the car. I'll just leave it. Probably might take a few days when I will have time, because removing removing starter on this 505 V6 engine. Wow! I mean, you're looking at it takes hours sometimes, depending on how you want to tackle it. You know, it's not a 5-minute job. It's actually very strenuous. You have to go under the car, remove few things, depending on. Well, okay, let's see how it goes. So what I intend to do is I'll remove it, and whenever I'll have time for it, take it to one of my technicians that repairs a starter, 505 starter. So we'll look at it, and I believe we'll be able to fix it. Okay, so we'll see. Okay, so this is 2 days after the 505 V6 ready to start. So I came back from work the second day, and I've been feeling very lazy, even though not just having time, but felt lazy to actually do this one, because I know how strenuous it is to access and remove the starter on the 505 V6 engine. So the easiest, it's not even that easy, but I could say so easily, you know, there are 2 bolts that are holding the starter. To access the one bolt that is on top, it's easier to actually do it from here, from the engine bay, than under the vehicle, because this starter is actually under. I was going to show you guys, even though I've removed it. I probably would have done a video before I removed it. So to do this, I have to remove this leather. This leather is it's not actually a leather. There is soundproof, I believe, between the cabin and the engine bay. So I have to remove it, which is a pain in the ass to actually to remove and put it back. Can be. Oh, since I'm pointing elsewhere. Hold on. Okay. So I'm going to remove this so that I can be able to access that bolt here. So it took a while to pull it out. Eventually I was able to do it, and so I removed that one on top from here to access it down there, before I now went under the engine bit. Let me see if I can show it. So the starter was somewhere here. I don't think you guys will be able to see it. It was somewhere here. This is the slave cylinder. Slave cylinder. So it's directly in front of the cross slave cylinder. So you can see how difficult. Maybe when I will mount it back, I will show you guys and understand better. Let's hope I'll be able to do it during the daytime, so that You see it. I mean, man, to be honest, it's about 2 hours job. Honestly, it's about 2 hours or more to remove starter on a 5.5 V6. I honestly don't like doing this job. I don't like doing it. So this is the starter. This is, remember, it's actually a new one. So what happened was this the solenoid, because of this solenoid broke some point of the vehicle, not on the vehicle. So this solenoid got broken, and like I say, it's new one. You can see the sticker and the rest, which I ordered from USA. So this broke. This thing here, the 13 volt where the cable from the battery positive terminal goes to, and the one of the from the alternator, so broke. So I was forced to now change the solenoid. So this solenoid is a used one. So it's possible the issue, this one that they now put is a problem, or it could be the brush in here. Maybe when they change it during assembling it, they change the brush. I don't know. So all I can say is this thing was working. It's still working, in fact, because at the time the sound I was hearing, so this thing was coming out or pushing out, only that the armature was not turning. So it's most likely the solenoid is good. Maybe it's the brush. I want to believe between the brush and the brush, which is somewhere here, the solenoid. So I was talking to one of the technicians. Is an experienced Peugeot electrician who specializes in all these older Peugeot cars, electrical systems, the 504, 505, 404, and the rest. So he's very good at fixing broken starters, alternators, and the rest. So I'm going to send it to him. Now I have a spare one. Remember, there was old starter that was in the car before I bought this new one. So I gave it to him, and according to him, he repaired it, he fixed it. Even though it took a while, almost close to 1 year before I was able to get components to fix it. But actually, I have no confidence on that starter, because that starter dealt with me before I got this new one. So, of course, what I should have done is to mount that one. I just kept it as a spare. So what I have done is to mount it, but considering what it takes to remove this thing, I'm not going to. So since I say I prefer this new one, I'd rather fix what is broken, which I can use from here or here. And however, like I said, whatever happened has to be as a result of this used solenoid that was introduced on the new starter, or if you call it the condition starter. So we check the brush. Maybe when they were changing this, they didn't assemble the brush very well. So I don't have confidence on that user, because what usually happened back then was when the starter is cold, it will crank. But as soon as it becomes hot, it won't make any move. Well, I don't want to suffer that thing again, so I would rather fix this minor issue on the new starter and put it back. Because if I put that one and eventually realize that the starter still has some 1 or 2 problems, I mean, it's going to be very, very painful to go through this again. I mean, I have to charge the car. That's it. I have to charge the car. So this thing, the front end off very well. Let me see if you guys can see this very well. I mean, it's already late in the night. I mean, like I said, it's not that fun. It's strolling under the car, and it's very strenuous. Trust me, you probably will understand. If you don't own a 505 V6, you won't understand what it takes to remove starter on this car. Trust me, you don't. One of the hardest jobs to do on this car. Okay, so probably might take a day or two. I'll just use all these logistics, maybe call Uber or bike. These are sit back and send it to him because I won't have time to go to our post to deliver this to him. So I'll send it to him whenever he's done fixing it. He'll send it back and pay him up. So we'll see how it goes. So far, my intention was to use the car for some days, but well, the starter decided. I'm even happy that it happened while I got to. I mean, because I drove it a day before this happened, at night, not even daytime. You know, started well, drove it back home, parked the car, the next morning, did this thing. So imagine if I happen, anyway, even if it happened anyway, it's a manual, it can be push started. But then, you know, the inconvenience. So that will have to be here until I'm done mounting back the starter. Hopefully, in the next a day or 2 or 3 or whatever. I'm not in a hurry. That's the advantage of having more than one car. You know, the issue comes up. You leave the car, keep using the other one until you sort out the issue. So I'll keep you guys updated. Okay, so this is the update on the 505 V6 non-start issue, or non-crank, not even start issue, non-crank issue. So, and so let's go back to the starter. So I took this starter, sent it to the technician, the Peugeot electrician, the 504 electrician, very good with all this starter. So he tested it, and funny enough, he said there was nothing wrong with it. You know, which I probably should have done before I even sent it, but I just because of the symptom, so which is usually one of the starter failure symptoms. So it said that it worked, so nothing wrong. It didn't show any sign of those symptoms I described to him. So immediately he said that the first thing that crossed my mind was the battery terminals. So I quickly rushed. I told him that I actually had that experience in the past, but not on this vehicle. It was on my 407 V6. So I came and because this is not like the plug. So when I disconnect, immediately I touched these two 13 bolts. You know, I realized they were not actually tight. Of course, originally they were tight, but it's as if they slackened over time, you know. So, I mean, I could actually use my hand there to lose them that when I checked. So, and so I now lose them, and this wire, this is the one that goes to the engine. It's bolted somewhere on the engine. So, when I checked, I realized that not necessarily rusted, but it's as if they were covered with black stuff, as in they were no longer making clean contacts to this here. So of course, if they can't make clean contacts to this place, then this one cannot be able to do its job on the battery terminal. It won't transmit. So I strongly believe it could be from here. So I told him, okay, no need, let him just return the starter. Another suspect is the positive. Now, this is the positive terminal. Of course, this one goes to the fuse box, and then this one, hold on, no, this is the one that goes to the starter, and this one the fuse box and the rest of the car. So, this particular one was not long enough to get to the starter. You know, it has to go all the way from here, go under the engine till the starter motor is somewhere down there under. So it was changed before I got this car. in 2010, and ever since then, and it was joined together somewhere in the middle. So I don't think it's ever given me issues, but what I noticed was when I remember the last time I removed this engine and put the SL1 carburetor engine, new engine. So when I mounted back this V6 engine, I realized because I kept all these things, so I checked the cable. I realized that with that place we were joined together, I started rusting. So I cleaned it off and joined it again. I actually made an attempt to see if I can get power cable that can run all the way from here to there straight without any joint, but I couldn't find one, so I had to reuse the one I had before. So but I don't want to touch that place yet, where it is joined in the middle. I think it should be under the engine or before it gets under the, I can't remember. But to do that, I have to probably remove the wire completely, this cable. So I want to leave that one alone because the negative one is very obvious. What I'm going to do in future is to look for a negative cable that has this kind of terminal, this kind of, you can see here, so that it can easily be bolted to this. Because what usually happens is, even though I've already cleaned it up, you can see now, you can see the color of the wire. Unlike before, it was basically black all through. So over time it will do the same thing. So it means I have to clean it every now and then. So I think the best thing for me to do, I'll just look for a shorter, because the negative one is short, cable is short. So look for just a shorter cable that will have this particular cable, this particular thing on the cable on both ends, the here and the one that goes to me, because this one, the one that is bolted on the engine, the other end has this. So that will solve the problem permanently. So what this until I mount the starter, we connect this, start the vehicle, we'll now see. If the starter does the same thing, I'll know the probably is the positive one that is actually causing it. We are joined together, because on the battery, on the starter terminal, they all have this. Both the one that goes to the alternator and this is the type of what do you call this? Anyway, so back to the starter. Anyway, the technician told me that the cone bushing, it has a kind of, we call it cone bushing, both here and then on the tail here as well. So he said both of them are actually showing sign of wear, so that he will advise I change them, and I did. So I asked him to change it too. He made the crank speed much faster and smoother rather than drag it. So that's the only thing he did, which is a plus anyway, since I've had it removed, so I can also do everything. So in other words, also positive, a good thing that I removed it, because over time, if I didn't do it, what would not happen is it will heat up the armature, we call it shaft, it will heat it up here, and which is not good. So I'm going to mount it back. It's already getting dark, but I'll get to it. It may take another 1 hour or so to do. Another thing I want to use this opportunity to sort out is the horn. The horn has been acting up every once in a while. Sometimes it won't work, sometimes you press it, it will make just one slow sound. I don't think the issue is the two horns, which is you can't access unless you remove the left headlight. I have to remove this side before I can easily access it. It's somewhere under it. So which kind of feel is doing. So I want to the connection, suspected it could be the connection that also goes to the same negative terminal to the horn that is the problem. So I've cleaned it off. We'll see what happens as well after I mounted everything. If the horn continues the same thing, I'll probably be forced to remove the headlight. And I don't know, because most of the horn they sell these days in the market in the name of Peugeot horn, they don't actually sound like that original Peugeot horn. This one actually I changed it in 20 was it 2011 or 2012? I've changed it actually. The current horn on the vehicle, you know, they actually come in pairs. So the high and the low. So I've changed this thing and it's been working. So I've noticed that what they now sell in the open market, because this current one there is not even OEM, but it sounds like original 544. In fact, you call it a Peugeot horn. That sounds, that's how it sounds. So but the current one in the market these days, they sound different. It don't really sound like Peugeot horns, you know, horn. So I will do my best to, before changing this one, to be sure that it's not a connection issue. That I'm buying the horn only for me to lose that quality sound. You know. So we'll see how it goes. I'll start from here before I will. I don't really usually like removing this, you know. But if it comes to that, then what I'll probably do is once, if after doing this and the horn still keeps doing the same thing, I'll just correct. I'll go and buy another horn, which I did before. There was a time I bought horn when he was doing that. I bought a horn, and in the process of trying to mount it, I then realized the problem was the connection to the horn, not necessarily the horn. So after fixing the connection, I started working again. I returned the other one and I was refunded. So I probably will do the same thing, because I wouldn't want a situation after removing this, considering that it's not something I like doing all the time. After removing this headlight, only to realize that truly the horn has packed up. Then I will now be forced to leave this open, which will take a day or two, depending on when I have time to go and buy the horn. You know, so I'll rather have it ready. If it's the horn, as I was removing it, I'm putting the new one. So it's going back means it has gone back, not coming out again. Okay, so let me get to work. I said it's about an hour job to mount this one, the starter. Okay, so let's hope everything works. And something else I also noticed here. But I won't comment on it until I finish mounting the horn. I think sometimes some disappointment can be a blessing, because by removing this starter, I started seeing some things that I think I should have paid attention. You know, you are giving me symptoms that I didn't know it was actually the cause of that symptom. It didn't fail, but it was disconnected. So it was in the process of trying to remove the horn, remove this thing. It was actually the TPS, the throttle position sensor. This is the connector, so it wasn't plugged in fully in. So since they are connected, we'll see. So I'm going to plug it in this time after I mounted this, and then see what happens. Okay, so update. It's already dark. You can see. Dark, any star. Okay, there's one star right there. Okay, so it's late in the night. We say close maybe between 30-40 minutes. I could still leave it approximately 1 hour job to put back. I'm not sure it was up to an hour. So let me show you, guys, some of the things. What it takes to remove this thing as fast as possible. That's in less than an hour, say, or an hour max or so. I'm not sure you guys can see this. There's something I'm trying to show. what I mean is, you see this leather here, this cover, this heater matrix cover, you have to remove it because one of the bolts that hold the starter to the bell housing can easily be accessed from here. Let me see if you guys can see it from here. It's already dark, so I probably cannot be able to see it. So without, if you don't remove this, remember it's covering the AC blower. Look at it here. So if you don't remove this cover, it means everything has to be done from under the car, and that will take you more than 3 or 4 hours. Trust me, I've done it like 2 or 3 times before I now realized that easiest or fastest way of accessing this particular one is to remove this and then do it from here, from on top of the engine bay. The second bolt, go on there. Okay, so this is the starter. This is the starter. So now this is the second bolt. Yeah, this is the second one. So this one you can easily access it from here, but the other one is on top. So you can actually still use it from here, but man, you see this exhaust. You can as well just remove it. If you want, you can either you remove this exhaust from here, which is a pain in the ass to do and mount back, or you have to find a way and squeeze your hand through this exhaust and then use your hand to search for that other bolt before you touch it and start. I mean, trust me, it's a hell of a job to do. I did it like 2 or 3 times in the past until I now found out that you can actually access the other bolt from the top, you know. So I mounted the starter, connected the connector from here, the battery cable, positive one, and then there's another one that comes from the alternator that goes to the starter, and then the wire that goes to the solenoid. So I've done all that. Okay, so let's see. So I mounted the battery, but what is missing now is this, the solenoid. The positive terminal has been connected. I'm yet to put the negative one. Well, meanwhile, I've connected those wires on it. So the first thing we do, the other things, before I get to the battery, there's something else I need to connect. You can see I have to, I will have to mount it, put back this red cover, and then the air intake too. You see, I remove it from the throttle body. The throttle body, let me show you guys properly. So this is the throttle body. You can see it here. So this thing has to go back. Then this post too, you have to connect it back here. So this is the MAF sensor, manifold absolute sensor. What else? What am I trying to say? MAF sensor is a mass airflow sensor. Mass airflow sensor, not absolute. Mass airflow sensor. So this one is MAF, not AMF. That's airflow meter. This is mass airflow sensor. So even though they all look alike, you know, some people get confused sometimes. They look alike, but it's not the same. Then I will connect the connector to the TPS, throttle position sensor. Call it throttle position switch. This one is more like a switch, not necessarily a sensor. So this is it. this is it. So this is the connector. Before it wasn't plugged in for properly, so I have to do it this time. So I'll update, I'll do plug in, put back everything, then okay, let's test the battery to be sure that first thing you do whenever you do such electrical work is to be sure that, hold on, let me close it up. To be sure that there is no bridge of wire on the starter motor, maybe the positive cable from here is touching the body of the starter or somewhere else. So how do you find that? So this is the negative, the touch. You can see no big spark, just a small spark. Of course, the electronics on the car. If you touch it, this is the, of course, remember I've already plugged in the positive, but this is mainly negative. If you touch it and it produces very big or huge spark, please don't squeeze it in immediately, just touch it like this. If you touch it and force it in and it produces, it could blow up your battery or damage whatever that is touching. It could be that the starter motor somewhere battery is touching or something. Okay, so okay, let me see if I can test the phone before I start the vehicle. I connect those things to start the vehicle. Hold on. Okay, we need to come and arrange the wires so this thing can stay firmly. I'll arrange it later. Okay, you can hear. I think I will have to remove that the headlight eventually. If I have time, I'll do it this night. Wait till I get another set. Let's see how it goes. Let me just conclude on cracking the engine to be sure that it works. Alright, so I'll get back to you. Okay, so I mounted the tube from the MAF sensor, connected the tube to the throttle body, plugged in the TPS connector, and this what's it called? More like a PVC valve or thereabouts. So connected it back to this tube. So let's attempt cranking the engine. Let's just start, see whether it will crank. So if the issue continues, that means I will have to check the positive cable, like I said, where it was joined in. Okay, it's difficult holding the light and the camera at the same time. Let's see. Searching for the key. Okay. Oh, this is one key. Okay, I've seen it. Okay, probably I'll put on the really make much change. Okay, that's something. So let's see. Okay, let's focus on the tachometer. Woo! Yeah, so wow. I mean, this is the first crank for about this close to 6 days now of this thing. Look at how the car just started. I think this had an impact. That TPS that was disconnected. Yeah, because before now, when I started, when it wasn't fully connected, you see the ampere will be jumping up and down, sort of, kind of, it will haunt a little, and you know. Okay, so this is now sorted. Let's see again. Okay. All right. So what do you guys learn from this? Um, so before you, in my own case, but I could say it kind of worked out eventually for me, because now the crank speed is much faster. I think that cone bushing, the two cone bushings on the starter that I changed, made a lot of improvement on the crank speed. The starter is spinning much faster, and I mean, before it could, not like it was dragging, but it's much better than it was before. The battery terminal, uh, even though every other thing will be working well, you can actually do the, what I mean by, I'm not speaking specifically of this, you know, the wires attached to it, depending on the type. If it's this type, you don't have a problem. This here, but once it's the wire, it's probably this place that is joined to the, that touches the terminal corrodes. Once it corrodes, it will start losing contact, and there won't be enough to do its work. So what I'm going to do is, like I said, I'm going to get a wire that has a cable that has both ends can be bolted on this head rather than the wire itself. That's enough. So that is sorted out, and so remaining the hot. Let me see if I can remove the headlight. See if I can deal with this. No. You see, it stopped again. So I don't think it's the horn. It's behaving like it's the connector. It could be the horn. I don't know. I don't want a situation where no, I think let me leave this thing like this. I want to have a horn, even if I have a contact that can take horn from, so if it works, return it. If it doesn't work, I'll just mount it. Only that because what is blowing now is the low sound from, not the high, that loud one. Even the low one is not even bright enough, so, or loud enough. So basically the work is done. So I'm going to bring down the distance, the vehicle down. Of course, take it for a short drive, not necessarily a long drive, just maybe 2-3 kilometers. You know, I think that should do. Yeah, I ought to have checked this before I sent it out. Because like I said, I actually experienced this issue once in my phone, and my phone never had this issue. But this time the original connector terminal was broken, so I put something like this. So over time, I think after a year or so, it corroded somewhere inside here. So when it corroded, these wires could no longer make contact. In fact, that one, it made me remove starter like 2 times. In fact, I had to change starter twice. I was thinking the issue was that maybe the starter couldn't even last. I would get another one, pull, same issue. Until one day I was like, because that one was actually very funny. When the engine is cold, it will start. That when if let's assume everything is cold, it will crank the engine to crank and start. But once I drive the car for some kilometers, everything warms up, it starts doing the same thing, which is symptom of starter. Any technician will tell you when a weak starter is hot, it starts cranking, it starts to spin. So I assume it was starter. So did the same, put another starter. Immediately I put another starter, the engine cranked. Took it out, drive it far. It didn't happen that same day. I think like was the second day, the same issue happened again. So that was when I said, after I put the second starter, it did the same thing. I was like, no, something, it must be wrong, not just the starter motor. So I now started checking. Then I saw this particular thing was black. The entire wire there were black in color everywhere. So I removed it. can't remember whether I, not just like, because this one, what I did was just brush it. I used my knife, brush every pin of it. So because the wire was not long enough to that place, and it was negative one. 407 negative one is kind of different. They join together at some point. One goes to the body of the car, one goes to the engine, the other one. So I was like, let me just use it until when I find one 407 negative cable to the battery terminal, negative terminal, that the terminal, everything is still in good condition, rather than buying another one. I have to start doing cut and join. So I still left it. It's still working. And one thing about this thing is, once it corroded, as I remember in my phone, when it corroded, the battery wasn't actually charging full properly. It wasn't charging well, because it works with alternator. So the alternator was charging the battery. Once I put on the headlight at night with the AC, I realized that you might not be able to start the car until I put on another battery. So I was thinking then was the starter that was dragging the battery down when I was about to fail, not knowing that it was actually this that was making the alternator not to charge well. But immediately I fixed that thing, the alternator shoot out from 13.80 or 13.70 volts to 14.30 volts. So I know this video is taking too long, but at least you guys have learned something. So what is remaining now is the horn. But like I said, let me explain the reason why I don't like touching this sector. This is glass. This light is glass. So it's come together with the glove itself. So sometimes when you try to pull it out, it will separate from the glove. Yes. So it means you now have to take it again, and I think I've done it like twice because of this haunting. Each time I try to remove, sometimes the old gum will pull out. So let me see. Worst case, I'll just go. Let me see if I can try it tonight, see whether it will work. If it doesn't, then it's one of those things. Let me just try it. Worst case scenario, I just give somebody to gum it. Not gonna kill me. So I'll update you guys now. Okay, so this thing is out. The headlight is out. I can see. So this is where I kept it on the floor. So far I came out, no issue. So I've been able to check the connection. This is the first horn here, second horn is somewhere under there. So yeah, the connection to them, we actually cancel collision, but I think one of them has died. This particular one has failed. The second one, I don't know if you guys can see it from here, somewhere there. So but this one has failed, because even as I press it, let me show you guys. See. Even the one that is glowing is no longer as loud as it's supposed to be. So I disconnected this one, and was still making the same thing. So maybe it's only this one that is working. So it has failed actually. Now you see why I wanted not to remove the headlamp until when I get the horn, another one. Anyway, notwithstanding, I'll just mount it back. And then I don't think I'll just buy it. Before I will buy, I'll have to test all the ones available in the market, new ones, to know the one that the sound is close enough to the original 504, 505 horns. So other than that, every other thing is sorted. So at least I'll take my time. I'll just be managing it like this, depending when I get a better home. Yeah, this is what I'm more interested in. So yeah, this is the main thing. I've sorted out some other things that popped up. I didn't know the sensor that was not the TPS that wasn't properly plugged in. Now the engine starts are idle properly. Unlike before, it will hunt a little bit before it stabilizes. So I'm going to mount it back and then take my time to get the lights on to my test, and then remove the headlight again. Okay, so this is more like the end of the video. I hope you guys have learned something very useful for you, so that when you want to do your own diagnosis, you see how I started ruling things out. Though I should have started from the simpler ones that are easily accessible, but then still notwithstanding